Yo, what's up, baby? This is Bert Watson, and you're listening to Radio MMA, because this is what they do and why they do it, baby, all night long, because they rolling hard, fast, and on the money.
Okay, guys, we're back, and we roll on. Let's bring in our next guest. How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Glad to be on the show. It's a real honor. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. So, just talk about your most recent fight. It was a few months back. Just talk the fans through the fight for anyone that missed it.
Yeah, it was against Ray Borg. Josh. No, that's the guy I'm fighting now in the UFC.
Right.
His name was, geez, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Anyways, he was a very experienced guy. He had about 30 fights on me. I knew the guy was going to bring it. You know, he's gone in there with some vets, with some guys that have been in the UFC. Basically, just another fighter like the guy that I'll be fighting in August 8th. And, I took it to the guy. I saw that in his fights, you know, he was always the aggressor and the one pressing the pace. So I decided to give him a taste of his own medicine.
Nice. Now, just talk about getting this opportunity in the UFC and how you learnt about it.
Yeah, man, I was actually training. I was gonna fight some guy in for RFA, and so I was getting ready for that fight, and then I got a phone call from Sean Shelby, and then he asked me, he's like, dude, I got this guy for August 8th. Do you want it? I'm like, and then I'm a guy that likes to play it safe, even though I take fights with just about anybody.
Sure.
I still like to run it by my coaches, just out of respect, you know.
Right.
So I told him, I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to my coaches. Let me see what we can do. And then he's like, no, man, it doesn't work like that. You either want it or you don't. And I'm like, of course I want it, you know, without a doubt. So then I took the fight, and then actually the day after that, I got a call from Dana White himself. And the guy welcomed, you know, at first he's like, oh, is Geane there? I'm like, no, this is Geane. You know, he's like, oh, Geane, you know, this is Dana White. Welcome to the UFC. And then there was this awkward pause because I was starstruck, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I'm like, oh, crap, you know, like, wow, you know, very nice to hear from you. You know, I know that the division's struggling. You guys can use a guy like me, a guy with a personality that loves to fight. So I'm ready to go in there and make a statement. And, yeah, man, it's been a really fun experience.
Okay, man, I'm sure you get asked this all the time because everyone always talks about Octagon Jitters. How do you think stepping up to the big leagues like the UFC will affect you?
Nah, man, I think I thank God for the opportunity. I feel like it came at the right moment, but I feel like it's overdue. Like I belonged there a while ago. You know, I'm not worried about that. It's just another cage, just another fighter. You know, there's not much in life that really intimidates me.
Okay, man, and just talk about, you know, usually guys get into the UFC, they're fighting on Fight Pass, but you're going straight to the main card, and you got a pretty big fight. Just talk about your opponent.
Yeah, well, you know, the guy has a couple fights in the UFC, so you clearly see what they're trying to do here.
Sure.
But honestly, man, that doesn't intimidate me at all. That just pushes me to go in there and make a bigger statement. I've been training like never before. I know he's hell of a guy. He's going to be the ultimate test. He likes to bring it, you know, and I feel like I'm tested always during training, but in a fight it hasn't really happened, and I know this guy's gonna be that test, you know. So I'm ready to go in there and either finish him or have a 3-round war. But I'm doing everything to win, man.
You just mentioned make a statement. Just talk about what that means to you. Make a statement in the UFC.
Oh, it means the world, man. I have a pretty large following, so I know that there's going to be a lot of people watching the fight. I'm sure that's part of the reason why they moved the fight from the first fight in the prelims to the first fight on the main card.
Right.
So I'm ready to go in there and show everybody. I got a lot of people backing me up, you know, in the Latino community, because I'm really close, you know, with my roots, with my Colombian roots. So I have a lot of people overseas watching the fight, and just a lot of people overseas giving me that positive energy. So I got to go out there and make a statement for them, but most importantly for myself.
Just talk about some of the guys that have got you ready for this fight and who you will have with you in your corner in Nashville.
Yeah, well, I've actually been training out of the Spartan gym with Yosmani Cabezas, who was the Florida middleweight champion and the RSC champion. He also fought in Bellator a couple times.
Nice.
Destroyed a couple dudes in Bellator. And I've been training with him, man. When I first started fighting, I would do full-on sparring because the coach that I was previously with, he didn't care about weight classes. So here I was, just getting into the sport, a green guy, taking on the Florida champion, So I took my share of beatings, from a big man like that.
Right.
And honestly, I think that gave me the balls to go in there and just fight anybody. That's why I take fights with anybody at any time. Doesn't matter if they're 31-0. I've taken fights with guys like that, and they decided to drop those fights because they don't want to face me. They know that I'm not afraid to fight. And, man, I'm very confident in the things that we do over here. And like I said, I've taken a beating from that man, and I don't think, a flyweight's going to hit anywhere nearly as hard as that guy.
If you could train with anyone in the world, past or present, in MMA, who would it be and why?
If I think if I could train with anybody, it would be the ancient gladiators, because those were real fighters in my eyes, because they were going in there knowing that they could leave their lives in the arena. So if I can go in there and pick their brains at, like, when it comes to the mental aspect and the mental readiness, that'd be a dream come true, man, because those were real fighters.
Prediction time. How will your fight finish?
I never do predictions, my man. I've had 8 professional fights. I've never done a prediction, but I could tell you this: you guys can count on me doing my absolute best. I bring my A game. You guys can definitely count on that.
What'd you think about this Reebok deal? You'll be fighting in different gear this time. Have you had a chance to check out any of the Reebok gear?
Yeah, man. They're actually making me a custom gear. They're allowing me to represent, like I mentioned before. I'm big with the Latino community.
Sure.
These guys, they've allowed me to represent my country, Colombia, which is originally where my parents are from. I'm an American, though, so I love America, and I love the blessing that this country, provides for its citizens. But I'm also strong on my roots, so I'm glad that they're allowing me to represent my country. I'm going in there with the sponsor already, so honestly, man, I got nothing to complain about the Reebok deal. I think they're awesome that they're making me an official UFC fighter.
Anyone you'd like to thank or promote your social media?
Definitely, man. I would like to thank my sponsor for this fight. It's shawshooting.com. Those guys specialize in weapons and tactical training. They're some of the best in the industry. Also, my attorney, and honestly, man, about the only attorney that I'll ever trust, Burden Gonzalez, attorneys at law over here in Tampa, Florida. If you need an attorney, those are the guys to go with. They're serious, they're hungry, and they get the job done. Also, you guys can check me out on Instagram at 813pulga, that's Pulga, or you can look at my name, Geane La Pulga Herrera, that's Geane, La Pulga, Herrera, on Facebook.
Awesome stuff, man. Thanks for giving us the time, and best of luck next week on your fight.
Thank you, man. No, like I said, it's an honor that you guys have me on the show. Hopefully we can do more of these later on down the road.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, talk to you soon, bro.
All right, my man. Thank you for your time.
Okay, see ya.